also must warn you, the longer it takes to get back to your seats, that's the sooner you will hear me sing my karaoke rendition of Ice Ice Baby.
Oh no, I want to hear
You have been warned. Portion of our program tonight. We hope everyone's enjoyed this night so far as we sit around, talk wrestling, and if you're lucky enough, you could have caught Jim Rashke and Jordan Holm exchanging hair care tips. You could hear from our legends tonight. This room is full of them. And those of you that are here, obviously you have a great history in Greco-Roman wrestling and in the state of Minnesota. So at this time, I'd like to ask anyone in the room who's been a national champion in Greco-Roman wrestling to please stand. Get up. Ladies and gentlemen, these are people you call kind of a big deal. We'd also like to recognize some of our past inductees who are in attendance tonight. If you would briefly stand and be recognized. Of course, the namesake of the Greco-Roman Hall of Champions and 2009 inductee, Mr. Alan Rice. He's holding pocket aces, folks. Be aware. 2009 inductee, Steve Frazier. 2009 inductee, Mike Houck. 2012 inductee, Dennis Kozlowski. The 2012 Alan Rice Leadership Award winner, Mr. Wayne Bachman. That guy won 16 national titles. One of those 5 Anoka Olympians mentioned earlier, 2013 inductee, Brandon Paulson. 2013 inductee and U.S. Greco-Roman national team coach, Matt Lindland. And 2013 Alan Rice Leadership Award winner and the current head coach at the University of Minnesota, Jay Robinson. We will start tonight's honors with the presentation of the Legacy Award. This award is given annually to a family, team, or organization who has excelled in wrestling. Levon and Manuel Martinez had 8 children, 2 daughters and 6 sons. They attended Osseo High School in the western part of the metro, and the 2 oldest, Judy and Dolores, probably the toughest, were the wrestling cheerleaders, while the boys all wrestled competitively. Jim was the eldest, the 1977 state champion. You'll hear from him later tonight as he is part of our class of 2014. Victor was a 2-time state champion and 3-time finalist, while Steve was a state runner-up in 1978 and a 2-time place winner. Ramon wrestled through his sophomore season, while Jason won freestyle and Greco-Roman championships at the schoolboy level. Mark wrestled at the junior high level. The matriarch of the family, Levon, was the head pair for schoolboy tournaments in the state of Minnesota and attended numerous national events. Manuel, who never missed a match, sadly passed away in 2013. On behalf of the Alan and Gloria Rice Greco-Roman Hall of Champions, I'd like to introduce to you the winners of the 2014 Legacy Award, the Martinez family from Osseo, Minnesota. They got them at 8 tables, folks. You can't miss them. And at this time, we'll have Jason Martinez will come up and speak on behalf of the family.
All right. glasses, so I can't read them. You're in luck. I'd like to thank the Alan Rice Foundation and Legacy Award for this great opportunity, great honor that we've gotten for our family. We are really appreciate and humbled to receive this Legacy Award. We really appreciate it. You were introduced to my family. We've got much more family here. We got, like I said, 8 tables. Thank you. 40 something. And you know, without the love and support of the entire family that we've all been shown over the years, we for sure would not be here, as many of you guys would understand. As mentioned, Jim started wrestling in junior high in the 70s. We all kind of followed suit. Once one person gets involved in a sport in our family, it seems like everybody else tags along and everybody joins in, and that's how we do things. It's from the beginning that our entire family got engrossed in wrestling, from the early days. You know, from the high school wrestling, junior high wrestling, to schoolboy AAU wrestling tournaments, all that kind of thing. That's where we all started. We all enjoyed it. Some of us enjoyed it more than others. Some of us wrestled longer than we would like to. Some of us were accident prone, much shorter than we would have liked to. But that's you know, that's life. It was at you know, go back to some of the state titles that the boys were in. All three of the brothers wrestled for varsity for Osseo back in the 70s. And that's a pretty unique accomplishment in itself. Let alone having three kids in high school at the same time. Who's brave enough to do that these days? Not me, that's for sure. Although through all these successes throughout the years, you know, a lot of the great achievement came off the mat, or things that came on the mat, but you appreciate the things that happened. Victor, some of you, I know it's saying, you know, my dad, 1 year when Jim and Vic were wrestling for the state title, he was sitting at the side of the mat, and a security guard came by to try to usher him into the stands, and he pointed to him and said, "Those are my boys out there. I'm not going anywhere." And then, you know, my dad, he wasn't going anywhere. He said, I don't know if it's that same year or not, but he made his way over to the announcer's table and pointed out to the announcer, "You might as well get this right, because we're going to be here for years. It's not Martinez, it's Martinez." Actually, both my mother and father, for years, had to keep correcting people, because back then, Mexican families weren't all that popular in Minnesota, as they are now. Let's see. Because of wrestling, that's where we took a lot of our family vacations. It was always in the summer. We're on a road somewhere, you know, either to Oklahoma or to Nebraska. One of the most memorable, took a trip to Missoula, Montana, way back in the day. Back in the old station wagon. This was your Cherry Chase vacation kind of vacation. I mean, from broken down cars in the middle of the night to, what else did we do? Ate cereal nonstop. Count Chocula, blueberry, Frankenberry, one of my favorites. I don't think any of us can eat that cereal anymore today. I mean, we ate so much of it we got sick. However, we did get to eat bologna sandwiches in about every stop from here through the Dakotas, Montana. That was a treat. We don't eat many bologna sandwiches anymore either. But you know, we had a pop-up trailer that somebody rented us, powered us, I should say, and you know, it's supposed to sleep 5 or 6. It slept 11 comfortably. And even the dreaded smell from the back seat, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. In Missoula, you know, some of us got in a little trouble by making our way up to the big M on the side of the mountain. I'm not saying who, but I wasn't happy that night. Neither was my mother. Just a few more things. There was actually a trip too. Most of our trips were taken by car, because with 8 kids, and you don't imagine we take a lot of airplane trips. But there was once the 1980 trip out to the NCAA's where they took a trip to Portland, and a bunch of family went. I didn't go, fortunately, but my brother, not saying which one, Steve, took my niece, who was about 2 at the time, They were late into the game, of course, which, you know, Steve, I was late. And so him and my niece got on board, thinking everybody else was on board. And so, like I said, she was 2 at the time. And they got all comfy in their chairs, and we were wondering where everybody else was. Everybody else, where they pretty soon, the gates were shut, doors were shut. And Steve and his 2-year-old niece flew home, and her mother, grandmother, grandfather were all at the gate, frantic, wondering where her daughter was, and Steve were. They were home. That still gets brought up frequently, and not in a very positive way either. There, you know, there's trips to all across the country. We took all the time. One of the most memorable, obviously, was our trip out to the Olympics in 1984. You know, just the trip in itself would have been great. You know, we went swimming at the great beaches in California. We went on a yacht ride out in the middle of the ocean, and well, not middle, but off the shore a little bit. These are, you know, we're Mexican little kids from Minnesota. We had no idea that there was all this stuff available. It's crazy. But you know, just that trip itself would have been fantastic. But you know, the best experience was the Olympics itself. You know, you got to the Olympics, and the first minute you walk in, you see those raised platforms, the red, white, and blue, and knowing that you had family there representing Team USA was pretty remarkable in itself. But that was pretty cool. And then they have Jim win the bronze, and see the proud looks on you know, my parents' face and the family's face was truly something special. Well, and then of course there was the after party, which some of us partook in more than we should have. So I'm not saying again. As you can imagine, you know, wrestling did great things for our family, and we got as much out of wrestling for our family as we contributed. I know that we could stand up here, each one of us, and talk for hours about the impact wrestling's had on our lives. And you know, we couldn't even produce enough wrestlers in our family. We had to bring them in from the outside. We got Steve Verichek and Chris Owens that they, you know, kind of glommed on. You know, that works out. Once in wrestling, I was in wrestling. There was the let's see, you can imagine the I got sometimes you guys got to pick me up over here. So just as you know, wrestling is a big part of our family. That's the reason we're here, and that's the reason we're all love the sport so much. But we were a sports family as well. You know, had family members who excelled in baseball, cheerleading. I got to read these off because otherwise I'll miss something. Volleyball, softball, tennis, swimming, diving, gymnastics, basketball, kitten ball, lawn darts. You know, I go on and on. It just shows you how competitive our family is. No matter what we're doing, it could be a game of lightning basketball in the middle of the driveway, and you know, pretty soon we're drawing up teams and keeping score and having a knockdown drag out to see who the best one is. I mean, we even play spoons and break living room tables because you got to get that last spoon. It's ridiculous. We got wrestling matches that occurred more in family living rooms than on a wrestling mat too. Thanksgiving, broken legs, wrestling mat on the floor. We got 2 brothers go through plate glass windows. We had, you know, not only wrestling, but you know, we got such competitiveness. We got brothers dropping weights on other brothers' faces, headbutting wooden doors so you could get through it and give somebody else another wrestling match. I'm telling you, I had a brother who used to scale our house. We get in our house. We were a little weird. But all in all, I think it just shows that wrestling was a big part of our lives. The competitive nature of our family really contributed to a lot of these great adventures. And I don't want to be up here too much longer. We've got a lot of people coming up, but we just really appreciate the wrestling impact that it's had. It's given us such character and strength. And as you all know, what wrestling brings to your being is pretty special. There's one last memory. My brother, again, Victor pointed out when both Jim and Vic went to state in 78, 77. My dad, was one of the most proud fathers you ever want to meet, and he had this picture between those two when he was in there between the two of them. And that's why I say this for last, because he would love this, but you never see a more proud father with his two state champion boys around him, and what a blessing that this sport is right to our family. So we just hope that we can, be humble enough to say thank you and thank the rest of the community for what it's done for us as well. Thank you.
You're going to deal with your brothers.
Tom.
Congratulations.
Martinez legacy right here.
Want the family?
Brothers all up here. We'll get one with the Martinez family afterwards with the award. I think there's not enough space up here for 8 tables worth. Once again, Martinez family, the 2014 Legacy Award winners.